Hey there, nerds. We're back. We're not dead. Fun fact, I was off work for like 3 days because I was extremely sick and I wasn't answering my phone. Four people thought I was dead. Someone asked me if I got deported by ICE, which I didn't know if that was funny or depressing.
That is funny.
I'm like, well, they've known me for like 15 years. So I don't
No,
know
I
if they
mean
were
it's still funny.
I mean, like,
Clearly a racist joke directed towards you. Hilarious.
I mean, at first I was like, "That's pretty funny." But I'm like, "Wait, did they really not?" I had to like think about it because, like, in the context, I'm like, "Well, I mean, you've known me for how fucking long? Like, just an illegal fucking state employee the entire time. Love it." But we are back. It's our first show of 2025. How you been, buddy? What's going on?
Been good. Just kind of vibing, just hanging out, watching the Digimon Adventure series and building some models, but nothing going on otherwise.
That's good. I did. You were some of the models you've put in our chat have been awesome.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah,
They're just like Gundam, but not as in depth, and they come out
yeah.
looking really cool.
They seem like they're less of a pain in the ass to build. I could be wrong on that, but they look less of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean they're a lot quicker. A master grade Gundam usually took me like 4 or 5 sessions.
Yeah, we
And
I gotta get back over there and build my Gundam that I left at your place.
yeah, you should.
Yeah, we'll have to set up a night to do that.
Yeah.
But so what facilitated the Digimon hole? I love that you're down in the Digimon hole. By the way, makes me happy.
Well, because I was a big Digimon fan as a kid, and of course, Digimon was created by the makers of Tamagotchi to sell devices to boys instead of girls.
Yes, correct.
And when Caitlin found that out, she decided, because she was down a real deep Tamagotchi hole, and she was like, "Oh, can we watch Digimon?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." That's how it started. And then, for people who don't know, hold on, I gotta adjust my chair. I can't remember how to do it. For people who don't know, there was season 1 of Digimon, and then they came out with Digimon 2, and then those are the only two of the weekly series that connected.
Yeah.
They came out with Digimon Try, which was a 6 movie series in 2000, like mid 2010s, and
Yeah.
then they came out with 2 movies after that, and that's pretty much the whole story.
See what killed Digimon? Not killed it, but what made it like so hard to access was because I loved the show as a kid. I was definitely a Digimon kid, but it was the fucking games, man. Like the
Oh
games,
yeah,
like you had like Pokemon, like red version, blue version, like which were very simple, like almost like baby's first RPG, but they work. Then you had the Digimon World games, which were just grind heavy, punishing RPGs that were not fun.
right.
So I feel like had they gotten the games right, and even the trading card game, because I felt like the Digimon trading card game was a little confusing too. So had they gotten those two things right, I feel like maybe that's a bit of a different conversation. Because as far as like the anime, like I'm gonna sit there and say this, like the Digimon anime is definitely better, like as far as written wise,
Hmm.
than the Pokemon one, but the Pokemon one is more memorable. Just to,
Oh, I disagree so much. There is nothing memorable about the first 2 seasons of Pokemon at all for me.
really,
I think about, like, from someone who was in the prime age when the anime came out. The only thing
uh,
I remember from the first 2 seasons of like Pokemon is Ash's Butterfree leaving. That's it. But
I see.
I can remember so much about the Digimon anime.
I see. It's the reverse for me. I remember a lot more about the Pokemon anime than I do the Digimon one.
So I don't know. I think the Digimon anime is so much more deep than your average kid show,
Oh yeah, I agree with that,
and
100%.
it has like a lot of really good like lessons for a kid to learn watching it,
Yeah,
and it's not just like these monsters battling. It goes into a ton of depth
yeah.
with like relationships
Oh, I
and
agree, 100%.
um you know friendships and stuff like that. It's really really cool.
Yeah, no, it was a great anime. And all we really learned from Ash Ketchum is how to ghost people. So that's why, like us men that have abandonment issues, and we're
Yeah,
just like no commitment. He told Pidgeot he'd be back, or Pidgey, whoever the fuck it was. Did he ever come back? Not really.
Ash is just constantly abandoning his friends. I mean, no
He
one
really is.
liked. No one wanted Misty to go, and they were
No,
just like, "Oh, all right, I'll see you later."
no, he moved on. You ever hear the rumor that like when he sees the Ho-Oh in the first episode, he wished to be a kid forever, and that's why he's just always 10.
I mean, Pokemon fans are always trying to like invent lore to make their series more interesting, and
That's just not there.
yeah, they're like they desperately want it to be something more than just monster slavery and like cockfighting, and it's just not.
Dude, it's so funny because like Nintendo fans are like that with a lot of franchises like Zelda. Remember they just like slapped the timeline on
Oh
there after
yeah,
they're like after they're like, oh
and
fuck, people want a
every
story here.
fucking Legend of Zelda fans like, see, I told you guys it was so deep, and then like there's so much lore, and then they
No.
clearly used the most loose connections possible that never existed before that.
Yeah, no, they just retconned all that shit. I think it's
Yeah.
fucking great. Or what's the other weird fucking Pokemon fan theory? I can't remember, but there's a bunch of like random lore that they make up, and I think it's great. Shout out to Pokemon fans. Keep living in delusional worlds and beating
Yep.
each other up over trading card games. Because I love that. I want to see a whole fist fight over a Pokemon trading card game. That's what I want to see. Slug it out, boys.
I mean, I told you on Facebook. You just
I know.
Google it, like Pokemon trading card game Costco, and you will
Yeah.
see like grown ass men fighting over packs of Pokemon cards.
I just think it's fucking like it's funny, but like a little sad too. Where it's like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking
But
disgusting. These dudes are acting like babies. They're acting like fucking like insult children to make a quick buck off of selling cards intended for children. It's
yeah,
pathetic.
dude. Speaking of cards, I went down a random YouTube rabbit hole of like people stealing cards at conventions.
Oh yeah,
I'm like the like. Yeah, just some of the fucking depths people will go to just for a fucking trading card game. I'm like,
yeah, it's
holy fuck.
pathetic.
But it's crazy, like people fucking pay money for some of these cards too. Like some of these cards get like stupidly expensive very quickly. So it's just like I just feel I hate that. Thankfully, I'm not a trading card guy. Thank God, because I feel like every other hobby I get into gets ruined. So like I gotta be into the hobbies that no one cares about, like fucking watching paint dry, which I'm sure someone's gatekeeping that too somewhere. There's
Yep.
some Reddit forum like, no, you have to watch it at a fucking at this angle at this temperature. All right, so what you been playing, buddy?
Not really anything.
Oh, nothing. Got a solid goose egg.
Yeah, I started playing Monster Hunter Iceborne,
Mm.
because me and Austin had been starting to play it, and then I don't know, he decided he was done playing it. I guess. I asked him like, I was like, "Hey man, you want to do some hunting tonight?" He's like, "No," and he was doing other stuff. So I was like, "All right, you know what? I'm not really enjoying this by myself, so I'm gonna dip out of here." Um, but other than that, I started playing Digimon Survive. I didn't really get too far into it. The game's super dark.
Yeah, you were saying it was like a visual novel.
Yeah, it's like half visual novel, half strategy game. It's extremely dark. The opening scene of the game is like two children getting eaten alive by like a dark tentacle entity, and it's like, oh wow, this is they're not
Oh,
pulling any punches here. They're
they
just
never do.
going straight into it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But other than that, I'm not really playing anything, man. I'm very excited for Legend of Heroes coming out this month.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I've been playing it a shit ton. I feel like I'm playing more video games now than fucking ever for some reason. Like it's just so it's like not that I never stopped loving video games, but I felt like over Christmas break / New Year's, like I fell more in love with video games because I just like was cranking out a video like one game a week. It felt like it's while I was off. So like I think last time we talked, I told you I beat Titanfall 2. I was playing it. I finally finished SMT5 Vengeance, which was a fucking blast. Um, and I'll say this: I wish that was the game that they had put out initially instead of like vanilla SMT5, which I fucking hated because it ran like shit, and that was honestly the biggest problem for me was it ran like shit on Switch. Um, that game at 30 frames per second just doesn't work for me anyway. It's just that frame rate. It needs a smooth frame rate just for me to be able to like enjoy it. Because like once I start seeing technical issues, I get that takes the immersion out for me. I'm not a real big graphics guy, but I want smooth frame rate. That's kind of a non-negotiable for me. but I really loved it. The story is actually really good. It's not your typical SMT story where it's three routes. It's kind of very distinct choices you
When
can
you
make.
say
And
it's really good, what do you mean? Because I feel like you have a very low tolerance for that.
what do you mean?
Like, I think the SMT games have shit stories every time.
No, see, this one I really like it because historically, if one of these SMT games is like story light, I just play it for the challenge. But this one, like the story was actually engaging for me. I cared about the characters. Some of the characters that end up being like enemies. I you don't really see it coming, but you also whenever they start going against you, you can kind of feel their justification, almost like they don't really have a choice.
Mm.
So it's like you have a few fights you don't really want to have. Sometimes they give you some compelling choices as far as like which demons you want to align with, and again, their choices as to why they want you on their side are really compelling. So there were sometimes like it took me like 5 to 10 minutes to really like think on something and like why I wanted to do it. So I think this is actually probably my favorite SMT game as far as mainline, because I think the story is better than four and definitely better than Apocalypse. Um, but again, as far as like from a narrative perspective, the SMT games never really have great narratives, but this one I would say is the best one. So I think it's great. But again, that's only the canon of Vengeance. You play if you play Vanilla Five, the fucking you're on your own. So I wouldn't touch Vanilla Five with a 10 foot pole. Hated it. Then I jumped. I was looking at my Switch, and ironically, I was like cleaning my TV stand and actually bumped my Switch and it turned on. I was like, man, I haven't played this in a while. So I went and looked at my Switch games and like, oh yeah, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I haven't touched this in a while. So I jumped into that. I really enjoyed my time with that too. And usually going back to back SMT games is a big no no for me. But this game is honestly my biggest assessment of this game. It's just a giant fan service game. If you're an SMT fan and a Fire Emblem fan, this is for you. Uh, as far as like the gameplay, you're not going to get Fire Emblem style gameplay. You're going to get more turn based press turn system. I will say this is the best implementation of that battle system I've ever seen. Where if you do this right, you can tag a fucking ball or any enemy about like 16 to 17 times right in a row.
Wow.
But they can do the same thing to you. So like basically one fuck up, and it could be lights out. The only thing I don't like, I'll be honest, as far as on a gameplay perspective, they have this mechanic where every once in a while you'll be in a dungeon, they'll throw you what's called the savage encounter, and no matter what you do, this encounter it's very hard to win. These enemies will be at least 4 or 5 levels higher than you, and no matter what level you are, like there was a time I was level 75 and I was in a low level dungeon doing a side quest, and then I had a savage encounter. These enemies were level 80. I was like, what? Yeah, so I don't know what that mechanic's about. I feel like this is designed to kill you.
What it sounds
Because
like.
yeah, because like if I had to like put my guess on like my record as far as in those fights, it had to be below 500. It had to be, I would say 2 and 5.
Wow.
Because like they're hard to win. Then that's the other thing. The difficulty spikes in this game are fucking nuts. Where like you'll be kind of cruising, then you'll get a stiff fucking boss with a bullshit mechanic, that'll be able to one shot you very quickly. And again, it'll be regardless of level. Like the final boss, he had a move where I was like I think I was like level 80 at this point, or something high level, and I was at least 20 levels higher than this motherfucker. And he cast an almighty move that one shot in my party. I was like, what? And I'm like that I was a little frustrated with that. That's kind of a bullshit mechanic, but eh. So like it's if you're not careful with those difficulty spikes, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because it's like, it's a colorful game, lighthearted story, but like from a narrative perspective, like it's not anything to write home about by any stretch. But the battle system was so fun for me that and like seeing how the Fire Emblem characters are worked in, and they have some badass designs there. So overall, I really liked it. But yeah, narrative, not anything to write home about, I would say. Then I was playing Link's Awakening on Switch, and I like this game, but I have some major gripes. I don't understand why this game runs like shit. But even if it's a Switch game, like from a graphical standpoint, it's not like graphically intensive. Um, it's like literally when you walk in and out of houses, it's like this game starts like locking the fuck up a little bit. Like I don't know what it is, but that's literally the only probably one of the reasons I may
I
not
mean, I
finish
don't know,
it.
man. Like Nintendo's so accustomed to their slave audience just buying any bullshit they put out that like who cares, right? I mean, like
Yeah, it's
Nintendo's
just
like,
like,
oh, I don't give a fuck. Like, I guess, hey, newsflash: the next Pokemon game is gonna look and run like shit too. Everybody, don't be surprised. Like, no one cares.
You're not wrong, dude, because it's like no one's, but like Bethesda does it, and they fucking get crucified.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
Nintendo's always had like a bump in like according to score and according to public opinion,
it's
and it's bullshit.
disgusting.
I've been calling it out for years.
I'm with you on that, but yeah, overall, it's a remake of that Game Boy game. It's Link's Awakening, so it's fun. But yeah, that fucking yeah frame rate, ugh. Then I've done two new, well, not like one new thing where I started D&D, like
Hmm.
an online D&D campaign, with my buddy Tim from work, and we had our first session like a week ago,
Yep.
and so far so good. I'm a monk again. My guy's name is Claudio P. Sanchez. I'm an elf. I'm an elf monk.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And when I was reading the like the I guess the book or the guidebook, I don't fucking know what to call it. It was saying that I needed to put all my stats for a monk into like the fuck was it? Into wit no, yeah, dexterity and wisdom. But I don't know if I did the right thing.
I mean, you'll find out. I mean, did you put any stats into like your constitution or anything like that?
Yeah, Constitution's a 14. I'm only a level 5 right now, so Constitution was a 14.
Wow, level 5. Did you guys start out at level 1? Did you guys start out at level 1?
I think they did. I joined at 5. They told me
Oh,
to just
okay,
join at
okay.
5. So, yeah, but so far it's interesting. I'm really good at rolling ones, which might be problematic. But it's been fun, and basically it was honestly just been a fucking excuse to just drink while on Zoom. But yeah, I've been really liking that. And then the last thing I've been doing since I've been sick, really, because I got that fucking stomach bug that's been going around. Don't recommend it. It's brutal. Lost 15 pounds in like 2 days. Not great. Um, but I was watching Gundam, like the Universal Century, like the 1979 run, and boy, oh boy, what a ride! What a ride! That's probably like one of the best animes I've watched. Just objectively, like story wise, like yeah, there's some like stupid shit where I ended up watching the three OVAs versus the initial the regular syndicated episodes, because like the episodes have like toy placement for kids, like the Gundam and the gun can and all that other shit. So like the OVAs eliminate that, which was a lot nicer. But the OVAs are just like if you watch them right in a row, it's like almost like watching like Lord of the fucking Rings in a day, like all
Mhm.
three all three a day. It's like 8 hours of just straight Gundam, where I'm like, I didn't hate it, but after like I had to take a break after the first movie, where I'm like, okay, whoa. But my favorite character is Char by far. Like the dude with the mask.
Mhm.
What a great character, and like for a character that was like written in 1979, like as far as like how complex he is, I was kind of blown away. So I watched all the way up to Zeta Gundam, and then I sent you that photo where Zeta Gundam is like very 80s as fuck, where Char is like sitting there with his fucking aviators on, and his hair all down. Like so, that was fun. Then I watched the Netflix, the Gundam Vengeance or whatever, Requiem for Vengeance. That's on Netflix.
Mhm.
They had me up until the ending, which I thought was dumb. But like basically the premise is like these Zaku's, like it's like when they first start encountering Gundam, so the Gundam's like almost like a fucking, it's like a horror movie for them. They're like, oh my god, it's too strong. So that's been fun. And then I watched the Gundam Seed movie, which I hated.
Wow, you've been going to work, huh?
Yeah. And you know what's sad too? Like Gundam Seed's my favorite one, but I hated the movie that was on Netflix. It's you can't do what they did. You can't do in the 2 hour movie. Like that needed to be an anime, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, you're not gonna like this. I don't like Universal Century at all. I think it's too political. I think it's boring.
I 100% like literally when I was watching it, I thought of you. I'm like, he would hate this.
Yeah.
But for me, I like the little plot threads. Like I like things that people say. Like basically for me, like there's something that Shar says when he's a kid to like one of the to the Zavi family. He's like, one day I'm gonna make you all fall to your knees, and he basically says he's gonna fuck their shit up. And then fast forward to the end, he killed every single one of those motherfuckers.
Mm.
Like he had a hand in getting them killed, or he killed them himself, which was fucking wild. And then even his buddy, there's like one dude he goes to like the military academy who he's like friends with, or he like feigns to be friends with, and then like literally flash forward a few episodes later, he basically gets him killed by the Gundam, and he
Mm.
says, "You were a good friend, but you were naive." And the guy's like, "You motherfucker, you betrayed me." And then he gets killed. And it's like so it's been really good for me. Like I think the Universal Century stuff is great. I can't wait to watch G Gundam though. That's going to be one I can't wait to watch.
That's
Where
my
it's like,
favorite.
well, just some of the shit that I never saw it, and then I
Uh,
saw they have a Gundam that's basically a bull. Like he's like shaped like a bull.
he's only in like one episode though. Those show up in the like very short tournament arc in the second
Yeah,
season, and they're just from like random like smaller countries. Um, the main like first season is just them like in like quarterfinals, like qualifying
yeah.
for the giant tournament.
No, I think it'll be fun. I will say with Gundam, there's too many fucking timelines. Way too many timelines. There's like Universal Century, After Disaster, Cosmic Century. There's too much. Too many timelines. And I know it's an excuse to just sell fucking toys and Gunpla. Like I'm not dumb, but like too many fucking timelines. It's like it
Yeah,
reminds me of DC.
I enjoy building the models like a lot. I
Yeah,
love building Gonpla, but fuck the anime. Like
there's too much.
if it's not G Gundam or if it's not like Iron Blooded Orphans, I don't
Iron
care anymore.
Iron Blooded Orphans is probably my favorite one right now.
Yeah, me too.
So it's like Iron Blooded Orphans, Gundam Double O, which I really liked, and then obviously everyone's a wing. I feel like most people are our age are wing guys, but or that's what they started with anyway. Was Gundam Wing.
Yeah, I started with
Um,
Wing.
yeah, I feel like everyone. Yeah, and then like I think like I agree with you. I don't think Universal Century's for everybody, but if you're into that type of shit, then it's fucking great. I would say peak fiction. But yeah, it's too much going on, too many timelines. So I could see why people don't like Gundam for that reason because it can be confusing. But yeah, I've been having a blast, buddy.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. So I know we talked about this when I was over at your house for Bare Knuckle, which quick aside, what a fucking great card that was.
Great.
Yeah, God.
Everyone
A
got
lot of
finished.
knockouts.
It was wonderful.
There was a lot of finishes, yes. And
Yeah.
all the Philly guys straight quit on the stool. But not a great look for the city. But anyway, yeah, Bare Knuckle was a good time. But we were talking about Switch 2. And you were actually surprisingly positive on it, which I didn't think because you're not a Nintendo guy, but you were like actually surprisingly like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
The reason I hate the Switch is because it's weak, and I don't like weak things. So you give me a Switch that's more powerful, that is going to get real third-party support, and we're back. That's all I needed. That's what I wanted for Nintendo for the last 2 decades, and now we're getting it. And it's like, okay, well now we're in business again. That's really all there is. I mean, like, because when I think about playing like Nintendo games like Xenoblade 3 and just suffering through the horrible resolution and like, just be like, wow, this would look phenomenal if it wasn't on a console that was as powerful as my Xbox 360. Then we're talking.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was hoping it would be at least on par with a Steam Deck. Like I feel like that's reasonable.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I mean, I don't really know if price point's really going to matter. Like there's a certain price I'd probably be out at, but I would have to be like fairly high. So I'm not even like worried about price. Then people were talking about like the backwards compatibility. I'm like, Nintendo, like people would fucking riot this was the shit they would do. Like they would do some type of shit like that. We're like, not backwards compatible. Sorry, but
Yeah.
it's smart that they did that. Made it backwards compatible. I'm just kind of waiting to see where the fuck up's gonna be. There's gonna be something major that we don't like.
Oh, it's going to be the online. I mean, it's not going to have like a party system or something. That's what's going to be.
I don't understand why. Like, at this point, like they have to have people who work there that know this is what the standard is, or they're just like no, like
I don't know, man. They're a bunch of little weirdos over there in Nintendo
I
World.
but it's fucking wild because these motherfuckers can literally build their own theme parks. Like this is what they do. They build their own theme parks, make all these movies and shit like that. Wildly successful, but like online, nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because they don't want to. If they wanted to, they would do it. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Like you want voice chat? How about you download our app and then use your phone for the voice chat?
Yeah, you want voice chat? How about you go fuck yourself? That's Nintendo, you know?
Yeah. Like at that point, just fucking add Discord. Just fucking put Discord support and be done with it. Like
I agree.
it's literally all you have to do. We'd figure it out on our own. It's like I shouldn't have to fucking when I want to play Smash with somebody, fucking call them on the phone so we can fucking talk. Like the fuck, man.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
agree.
one major component. I don't understand why they don't do achievements because I feel like Nintendo games, like especially with their like online stuff, like their back catalog, like people would fucking eat that shit up.
I think you
Um,
might see achievements in the Switch
I
too.
think it's crazy that they don't do it. Like it's like
I'm not sure,
kind
but
of
I think you might be able to see it, especially since like Steam has achievements now.
yeah, like the fuck,
Everyone
man.
else has achievements. That I don't know. I think Nintendo.
You could make it that you get a fucking star or whatever. I don't know. There's so much you could fucking do there, and like they're just like nah. um, now as far as launch lineup, what's something you would want to see besides Pokemon? I feel like we have to have Pokemon.
It's really the only thing I would care about. I don't know, man. I'm not a Nintendo exclusive guy, so except for Pokemon, I could give two fucks. You know, I'd like to see a new Xeno game. I'm buying this thing to play Pokemon
Xenoblade.
and the next Xeno game. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I want to see a new Fire Emblem. I didn't really like Engage. I don't like Engage.
I
I
really
was
want
a
to get into Fire Emblem. I've never been a Fire Emblem guy. I really wanted to try Three Houses.
Three
Never
Houses is
really.
really good.
I
Really,
thought
really good.
I think the beginning of Three Houses is like a snail's pace. It's such a crawl.
Yeah, it's a slow burn. It's like Cold Steel 1 slow burn.
Yeah, and I've always just kind of started it and then just fell out. But
I mean, so if you're a Final Fantasy tactics guy,
mhm.
usually like you'll probably find fire. I don't know if you'll find Fire Emblem as good because I feel like a lot of people hold tactics really in high regard. Uh, but I will say I really loved my time with Three Houses. Um, it gave me like there's like social links kind of uh, as far as like relationships and stuff like that. But as far as like the story, it's actually really well done. I really enjoyed the story. Um, so yeah, I would highly recommend it. But maybe wait till Switch 2 comes out, and maybe if the Switch 2 has like performance enhancements for that, that would be the way to go. Because like on a performance level, not great. Done the wrong good. So that would be my big ding there. But yeah, three houses. So I would like to see a new Fire Emblem game. I would like to see a new Xenoblade game. That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Uh,
a new Xenoblade game coming to it for sure.
yeah, you're not getting Chronicles X, buddy.
No, it's the only one I don't care about, and it looks really bad too. Like
I
all
know. It
the other
looks like it's
in that series have great artwork, and
it's
Chronicles
the
X.
eyes. It's the eyes, dude. These guys have these like soulless dead eyes. I'm like, who
Yeah,
designed this?
looks like
um,
crap.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, I would like to see Pokemon for sure. Because I didn't play Sword and Shield. I just they didn't look appealing to me. I was just kind of like, I don't really like this setting. I'm like, like give me like a Pokemon Let's Go Gold and Silver in a minute.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm all the
Be
way in
sweet.
on that. But I feel like Nintendo doesn't like to give us what we want. I'm assuming Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be announced there, right? Like,
I don't know.
I just feel like with that
Could
fucking
care less.
company,
So you
man.
know,
I love Metroid, but I'm a
you and
2D
like
Metroid
three
guy.
other people.
I know. You know what's funny? People are like, "Oh, if they announce fucking Metroid, that'll sell." That the Metroid is literally never sold systems. Like it's not a system seller.
Sells like
so the
15 copies every
yeah,
time.
like the people who say it, like I always look at them like, "What the fuck are you?" Same thing with like F-Zero and Star Fox. Oh, bring that back, bring that back. I'm like, these do not move systems. Like they're fun, they're dandy, they're good. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, as a kid, I did not love these games. As an adult, I dabble because they're just kind
You
of
know what's crazy is that I used to think that Nintendo fans were the most delusional fans ever, but I've come to find out that it's actually Xbox fans that are
oh, dude,
most delusional
we'll
people
we'll get to
alive.
them because like I've been like, granted, this is the Twitter echo chamber, but like these motherfuckers are like a hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a hardcore spin zone here on
They're in just
yeah,
constant denial. I love it. It's so
yeah,
funny.
it's fucking crazy. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for it. But again, I can't. I feel like the way they announced it, like they got pissed that it leaked. They're like, "Well, here's a fucking video."
It was the announcement video was like really lame.
Yeah,
Showed us
I
the
feel like
picture,
they
which
just
everyone's already seen,
yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, okay, well, more coming April," which is when we were originally going to do this whole announcement. It felt really
Yeah, I felt like they were
backhanded.
kind of like, yeah, basically like, yeah, here it is. See you in April. You'll be there anyway.
Yeah,
Which I mean, I guess they're right, but still, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so it sounds like we're both pretty positive on that. So let's get to our boys here at Microsoft because they just, I believe they announced Forza is coming to to coming to
hmm
PlayStation. And it seems like there's going to be just a slew of steady Xbox games, or I don't even know if I want to call them Xbox games. Or I just call them Microsoft games at this point. Because like, is it going to be like Xbox publishing? Like, I don't understand how to even take this or interpret this. But
it's the same way you would say like Sega games or
yeah, yeah.
Activision games.
I guess after a while with Sega, kind of yeah. I don't really think of them as like, I don't know how anyone would think of them as a console person at this point. But yeah, just like. So they're a bunch of their games are coming to PlayStation 5,
All
which
of their games are coming to
yeah.
PlayStation 5.
Well, Phil Spencer is it Phil Spencer was saying not everything. There's going to be some stuff that doesn't go, which I
He's
don't know.
lying. He's
Yeah,
been
I
he's
think
been Phil's a fucking
he's
he's
honey dicking everybody.
full of shit,
Yeah,
and everything's coming to PlayStation and Nintendo.
yeah. So, um, how do we feel about the console war just being over? It's just over, dead. It's done.
It's been over for 2 generations now.
It's over. But I feel like it's over. Like,
Yeah, no,
but
it's been over for 2 generations though. I mean, like, look at how Xbox One and Xbox Series have sold. It was
yeah.
never a competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why they didn't pull this plug, 5 years ago. What was the
Yeah.
point of making the Xbox Series console if you weren't
Yeah.
even going to try?
Right. Just pull the plug, go to Game Pass, and be done with it.
It's what it seemed like they wanted to do anyway. So
Yeah.
why did you even bother with this? Because the Series console has sold like 10 million units, and that's it.
Yeah. But so let's break this down because maybe there's something to look at here. My perception of Xbox, like it was like a slow decay. Like it was like they had fucking cancer and they
It
just
wasn't a
never.
slow decay; it was an immediate decay, and then they just kept on life support forever.
So
It went from such a quick drop off from the 360 to the Xbox One. The
uh,
Xbox One never went
yeah,
anywhere. It was always a shit console with no games, and
yeah.
then they just gave up. They never even tried to compete again.
Do you think now? What would you point to as like the big moment? Like, are we probably going to be thinking of the same thing?
The PlayStation 4 reveal and the
Yeah,
PlayStation 4 E3 conference. That's all it was.
yeah. It's just for some reason like those vibes like they just killed their own fucking console like immediately. They just like came out with no momentum, all the negative energy, and then like they just never showed us the games.
Yeah, well, they never made the games.
Yeah, but then they like bought up all these studios and they're gonna have the fucking initiative or for
No,
the
dude,
collect.
there's a lot of like copium around Xbox and Microsoft, dude. They've been a shit company for at least a decade.
Yeah,
Think about where all their series are.
dead.
People are like, oh well, there was that rumor that Gears of War is coming to PlayStation.
Oh,
That I
it's
sent
coming.
you guys, right?
It's coming.
Who cares? Gears of War has been fucking shit for the last 2 games. No one even bought
Five
them.
was good. I like five, but yeah, five.
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
bought five.
No one cared. No one cared.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying five was good. I
The
like
only
five.
relevant series they have left is Forza. That's it.
Yeah,
No one cares about Halo either.
they fucking killed Halo, dude. They
You know?
fucking ruined Halo.
So you took you. It was a joke that you had 3 major franchises: Halo, Gears, and Forza. Right? You fucking killed 2 of them, and then you've only got Forza left.
And and I'm surprised they haven't killed Forza. Like I'm surprised they haven't fucked up Forza yet.
Well, Forza's a good game.
Yeah, no, I love Forza. I'm more of a Forza Horizon guy, but I love the Forza series.
Yeah, me too.
But I just feel like with a lot of their stuff, they fucking just like killed, and then anything new, they like it's hard to get excited for anything new that they do because like they're gonna fuck it up. Like I was excited for Starfield, then fucking turd on launch. I was excited.
I don't
for
know why
Redfall.
you were excited for Starfield, dude. That
But I
game was
love
so
shit in
clearly.
space. You give me anything in space, I'm in. But
No, see, you're a sci-fi game
Yeah, I love it.
You're a sci-fi fan. There is very few good sci-fi games. Very few. Like real like grounded sci-fi like Starfield was trying to do. It's very
Yeah.
few.
Uh-huh. You ain't wrong. It's just been an endless life of suffering. But yeah, like I was excited. Still excited for Avowed, I think, but like we'll see. Um, but I just feel like with them, like they don't really. I don't know. It's not, and maybe it's as because we've seen Xbox from their beginning. Like when Xbox first arrived, like they had Halo, which was great, and then they had a bunch of cool series on the original Xbox that they then moved over to 360. But I feel like even the cracks started showing with the 360 stuff. Because they thought like the last Gears game we got on 360 was fucking brutal. Gears Judgment, I think. Like I hated that. Like a lot of people did not like Halo 4. Basically, once Bungie turned it over to 343, I feel like a lot of people, started seeing the cracks there.
Mm-hmm.
Then didn't they fuck up Fable? Like I know if people did not like Fable. Like I
Yeah,
didn't I didn't play
they
Fable
killed
3.
Fable.
Um,
Fable 1
yeah,
was great. Fable 2 was good. Fable 3 was okay. And then
yeah.
they just killed it.
Yeah, and then just with the Xbox One, like we just never got like Halo 5 objectively is a fucking trash game. Like I hated Halo 5. Gears 4 and 5, like I liked 5, didn't really care for 4. And like now I'm like I was excited for E Day, now I'm very less excited for E Day. Just because I don't trust Microsoft to really deliver any of the quality. And now like I just feel like whenever I watch a Microsoft showcase, I feel like I'm watching an Ubisoft one. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to fucking play this on PlayStation, play that on
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation. There's no reason to own to own their hardware. So I am glad that like they're gonna be going third party or basically all intents and purposes because at least now I don't have to waste the fucking money and I can just play everything on one spot. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like the old head in me, I'm kind of missing the nostalgia of the fucking like, all right, you go to Xbox for this, you go to PlayStation for this, you go to the like, for some reason, I liked that silo kind of, it was kind of cool. But then like, as a kid, that would fucking burn your ass. Like, oh, you got a fucking this for Christmas. Ooh, but that, like, whatever exclusive came to a different console, and then you fucking like, fuck. So I
Well,
kind of miss this,
now
but
you get to see what a real Nintendo versus Sony one-on-one fight looks like, you know? I mean,
that's gonna be a bloodbath, dude. Like that's a no
yeah, I think
contest. That's
that's way more interesting than Sony and Microsoft because not only do these two dislike each other already, like Nintendo is like a powerhouse when it comes to video games. Um,
they're the last
and
one. They're the last samurai.
and they're finally back in the arena with like a console that's gonna compete pretty strongly, you know, and the people are gonna be making their games that are
Yeah.
gonna support the Nintendo console also. And I think that's important to remember because the Switch 2 is gonna sell like fucking hotcakes. It's gonna be really really successful. Games scale a lot better than they used to, so it's going to have a lot more support, and you're going to be able to play games on both Switch 2 and PlayStation 5, and that's going to be a first since probably the beginning of the Wii era,
Yeah.
where Nintendo is getting a ton of third party support that it's also on these higher, more premium consoles. It's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Well, it's funny because like if you know the history, like you and I both know the history between those two companies, so it's like Sony's finally coming for the last one on the hit list.
Hmm.
Like, and think about it, like Sony came in, so Sony came in, killed fucking Atari and all them other nerds. Like, okay, they're dead, and then they got Sega, they fucking killed them. Then Microsoft jumped in, was like, we're here, and they're like, okay, well, we'll play a slow game, kill them, like slowly, just fucking, wait for them to fail. Now they have their eyes set on the original enemy. I think it's great.
I don't view it as like Sony killed Microsoft. Microsoft just
Kill
made a whole
themselves.
bunch of mistakes and then didn't want to put in the time or effort to fix their mistakes.
You know what? It's really funny. They remind me of Sega. Like they literally remind me of what Sega did. Because like if you look at it, like they say history repeats itself, and I think it's kind of looms big here because like when Sega first joined the console market, they didn't do great. They kind of like the OG Xbox in a way. Like it was, people had it, but people, it wasn't really like a big boomer. And then like Sega with the Genesis, that was like their 360, where they had great games on it. It was competitive. They had market share, and then but slowly Nintendo won that generation in the end. but for a long time, Sega had all the momentum. And then after really the Genesis was on the market, here's where the fuck ups started happening. Where you want to put the Sega CD, that was a fucking turd. Then you have the 32X, which failed, and then the Saturn, which fucking famously Sega announced ahead of schedule, so all the retailers got pissed. Devs who had games that were in development for it weren't ready, so had no games on it to start. And it was, I think, it was $399 or something like that, or $499. It was something. It was expensive. And then that's when Sony came out, $199.
Mm-hmm.
and then the missteps from Sega kept happening, where the Saturn, they wouldn't bring RPGs over, which RPGs were big starting to get big. That was when Final Fantasy VII and all that was starting to get popular, and Sega wouldn't bring them over. And then famously, their CEO Bernie Stolar was like, "Oh, there's no." 2 years before the Dreamcast came out, was like, "Oh, Saturn's not our future." So anyone who would have bought a Saturn was like, "Oh, well, we're just not going to buy this if they're going to fucking kill support for this console right away." And then when the Dreamcast came out, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a great console. It's a great console." It was fine. It's a fun console. But when people knew the PS2 was coming, like, why would you buy this?
Right.
And then fucking that's how it died. So like, I feel like with Xbox, you're seeing the same thing where you made one mistake early or towards the end of an Xbox 360 generation, where you kind of like a little arrogant. You want to force DRM on people. You want to be like, oh, you have to fucking. I forget what the whole terminology was with it, but people were not happy. Then Microsoft came out. Or Sony came out. Oh, you want to lend someone a game? Here you go. And just fucking wrecked them, and that was the end. So it's just funny how those parallels kind of match themselves. But yeah, you Xbox fans, gonna come on over. Come on over. Either come to PC, come to PlayStation, come to Switch. Yeah, but they are delusional, man. I see a lot of Twitter posts where like, oh, you see Microsoft, they're now the biggest publisher on blah blah blah. I'm like, holy fuck! Now like it's over. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, people are being like, oh, you know, people being Xbox fans now is very strange because there's no you're not competing with anybody anymore. Like, just let it go, dude. It's
That's
over.
it. It's over.
You know?
It's done. It's done. And it's we'll have to at some point when it's official. When I can't. I just want to wait for the announcement where Microsoft cutting off hardware sales. It's gonna come in the next year or two. Like, I don't think we're gonna see another box from them. I'd
Yeah.
be shocked. Because everyone's like, oh, what if they go the route of like Steam or like where you have this, like, remember the Steam box or what the fuck it was?
Yeah.
Which I don't see them doing that. I just think that their people saw, like, why are we wasting money investing in R&D when we could just make money everywhere versus just here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting landscape. And then I'm just going to see how they're going to kill Nintendo. I don't think they'll ever be able to do it. I mean, to be honest, I don't think they'll ever be able to do it.
No.
But damn it, they're going to try, and I'm here for it. I am fucking here for it. So, anything in closing? Like, is there any what franchise from Xbox are you looking forward to playing the most on your PlayStation?
None of them. That's why I didn't play an Xbox.
So you're not, when Halo comes out, you're not gonna be just.
Why the fuck would I care about Halo anymore? No. I don't give a fuck about Halo anymore. No, I already played the only Halo games that existed, which are 1 through Reach.
Shout out to ODST, underrated game. I'll say when I'm playing Gears of War on my PlayStation, it's gonna be really funny because that'll be the one where you're kind of drinking from the skull of your enemies, just like, haha, we're here. But that means also that, like, I don't have to buy an Xbox to play E-Day, which is great.
Gears of War has 3 games in the series.
You know what's the not, yeah, I would say only 3 games because I hate Judgment. Where they fucked up is they didn't have the courage to fucking kill off certain characters like they originally did. Like, spoiler alert, in 3, fucking Dom dies, which took balls. Where, like, after they had written themselves in such a way that, like, it was either you had to kill somebody off or you got to restart. And I feel like they just kind of like, oh, we don't want to kill off Marcus. We don't want to make this move. So then we're like, oh, let's get his kid involved. But meh. All right. So as far as in 2025, now that we're on the topic of 2025, what games are you looking forward to playing? Like, what's on your radar besides
Mm.
Monster Hunter? I know you're going to be on Monster Hunter, I believe,
Really,
and
the only
Trails.
things I care about coming out this year, I think, are just Monster Hunter, Legend of Heroes, and that's it.
Only two.
I think so. I mean, I can't think of anything else that is coming out this year that I'm really excited for. I'm sure I'll play other stuff, but
Mm.
I mean, I might jump into Ease 10 Nordics when that comes
No, you're
out.
not.
I might. I don't.
I don't. I feel like we're not East guys, buddy. Like, I don't think that's us.
Maybe, but I don't know. There's nothing coming out that I think I'm very excited for this year.
Real quick with East, you know what it is, and I think we've talked about this before. It's like you play it and you're like, this isn't Trails.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you're right
I
about
just,
that.
I just think that's. I know what it is for me. Like, I'll play it, I'm like, oh, this is great, love the music, this is fun, and then like, I could be just playing Trails though. So for me, I'm gonna pull up a 2025 games release just so I have everything in front of me here. And granted, I don't think some of these games are going to even be in 2025, but so for me, it's obviously Trails. Like, Trails is probably number one for me. Then I have a different relationship with Xenoblade Chronicles X because I always wanted to play it and never got to because my Wii U had gotten stolen and I just never replaced it.
Hmm.
So once that comes out in like March, so I'm going to play that just because I feel like I'm obligated to play that now. Um, and then I think I'm gonna jump in on Avowed. I think I'm gonna be boots on the ground there.
That game looks fucking awful.
I'm gonna give it a chance. I like Obsidian a lot. They haven't hurt me yet. I feel like this is the one where we're gonna get hurt. But as far as like games that they've made so far, like I love the Outer Worlds. Like everything they've done, I've liked. So I can't sit there and be like, I'm out. Can't, like, they haven't really given me a reason to be out. So that's probably one that I'm going to be there for. And then the other one, and this is going to sound crazy, but I think I'm going to be there for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2
Why does that sound crazy?
because I didn't like because that first one was kind of rough on me and Watson, more so
Oh,
him than me. But I really like that. It's like hardcore Skyrim, but like I don't know, something about it just keeps me coming back. Just something about like, oh, you're gonna get better about your sword combat if you fucking train with this bow. You're gonna fight. Your stats will get way better with it. Like the being grounded in realism is kind of cool. Like I think that's
yeah.
a cool. I just think that's a really really cool aesthetic. Um, and then as far as other games, I'm looking at the list. Like I don't remember Death Stranding 2 being a 2025 release, so I'm not gonna sit there and say
Who fucking
uh,
cares?
me, bitch. What do you mean? Who fucking cares?
Ooh, the game that's not fun.
You remember that fucking kind of funny thing we saw where it was like, who said it? Was it Tim Geddes who said it? Like,
It
game
was
doesn't have to
Brian
be.
Altano
Or was it him? Like,
talking
a
about
game
it.
doesn't have to be fun to be good.
Yeah, this is this is all the bullshit I hate about Hideo Kojima fans. They always make up bullshit about it. Like, oh, this is a good game. No, it's fucking not, dude. You're just a delivery boy. There's nothing fun about Death Stranding. Stop
No,
fooling
I disagree.
yourself.
I disagree with you there. I really like
What?
Death
What is it?
Stranding. The story was really good. The characters are really good.
Explain the story.
So this, oh boy, you have a beer on hand.
Yeah. Tell me the story about how he's in fucking limbo and how you know what? I didn't even remember.
So basically, there's a cataclysmic event and the world fucking ends.
Surprise.
There was a I don't know. I'm trying to think of the words for it. There's like a world-ending event, and basically, in a nutshell, there always has to be a world-ending event. There's been 5 extinction events, and you're trying to prevent the 5th one. You're also trying to reconnect America through the chiral network, which is basically the internet. But that's
Already sucks.
it was a really fun game for me. I really really
No, it
enjoyed
wasn't.
Yes,
Dude,
what do you mean? Was it?
We lived together at the time, and I distinctly remember you disliking Death Stranding, and then you came around on it later. You did not
Yeah.
like it originally.
Originally, no. Originally, I was out, but then like I went back and played it. And I was like, oh shit. Also, but I also think what
I
like
love
kind of
walking around this barren world with packages. It's great. Yeah, sounds awesome, dude.
I really like the
Hideo Kojima,
characters.
visionary.
You speaking of, he's been quiet as of late. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Probably because he's
Um,
fucking creatively bankrupt. He's got no ideas.
he's just
His
sitting in a
last
fucking.
idea was a delivery boy simulator. Amazon loved it.
They're
Trained all
like,
their new drivers.
we're like, we need a sequel. He's like, fuck. Yeah, but I'm excited for that. But as far as like, I don't think there's anything else really in 2025 that like, no way, is Judas coming out in 25? No fucking way.
I think it's rumored.
I don't believe that. Well, that'll be one if definitely if it ever drops. But
Are you in the camp that that's actually a Bioshock game?
I would say it would be like a spiritual sequel or something like along. I don't think it's an actual Bioshock game. I would love for it to be a Bioshock game because
Yeah,
I love Bioshock.
I think there's a real possibility that game's actually a Bioshock game.
But here's the thing: can we even get a Bioshock game without Ken Levine touching it? Like, is that even acceptable?
It is Ken Levine.
I know, but I'm like, I know Judas is Ken Levine, but say if like we actually got another Bioshock game, I was like, yeah. Like, I don't know if we would be able to do that if it wasn't from that
Well,
exact
Colin
studio.
leaked that information that the Bioshock game was going to be in the Arctic, but we haven't heard anything about that. So it may have been canceled.
Remember that Vita game they were working on that allegedly there's going to be a Bioshock for the Vita?
No, I don't remember that.
It was like a random rumor. Speaking of that, I wish Sony would actually jump into the handheld space again, but
I think there was a rumor that they are, right?
that's one rumor I've heard. I hope they jump back in because, like, I still don't understand why they just didn't support the Vita. Like, I don't really get it.
That's what Sony does. That's what they're doing with PSVR 2 right now.
That's good, but
If something
PSVR,
is not a takeoff success, they don't want to invest money into it.
well, did you see that they changed what CEOs or something like that? They
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they demoted Herman Holst, or I'm assuming that was a demotion, and they put some Japanese dude in charge whose name I'm not going to attempt to pronounce.
Well, they went in for all these live service games, and then they fucking
got kicked
canceled
right
all
in
of them all.
nuts.
So.
Yeah, I love the fact that these live service games are fucking dead on their asses, dude.
Yeah, I hope all these companies lose all this money for them. I hate this.
Dude, yeah,
We don't want them.
No,
Get out of here. If anyone read the room, they would have known that this was going to happen.
What do you think the next trend is going to be of games that just that die on their asses? Like,
I have no idea.
I was thinking about that all day. I was like, what's the next fucking trend of games that we're seeing? We'll see one get popular, and then a bunch of people are going to copy it. Like, I've been keeping my ears perked up, my eyes open, but I can't really identify anything besides these live service games that fucking come out and die.
Hopefully, the next trend is just making good games.
That would be ideal. I think these games have like these super expensive development costs, where it's like, whoa. I think
I just want like solid 20-hour games.
Yeah,
that's all I want. Give me like a nice action game that's like Ninja Gaiden or something.
Oh, baby.
20 hours, you know.
You ever played? No, I don't think you have played the original Ninja Gaidens, have you?
Nope.
Like, dude, you would like those games. Like, I think you would love those.
Yeah, I've been wanting to kind of jump into Ninja Gaiden 2 on Game Pass or something, but
they're not as hard as people make them out to be. Personally, like if you beat an Elden Ring, you can beat Ninja Gaiden like very easily. Personally, I would just say that the biggest enemy is the camera. For like, not that it's bad, but sometimes it doesn't do you any favors. But a lot of people, if you play the original Ninja Gaiden for Xbox, I would recommend playing Ninja Gaiden Black if you can get your hands on it. A lot of people's love or hate for Ninja Gaiden started with the first boss. Or the second boss. There's like when you fight the dude with nunchucks, he will fuck your shit up. It's beautiful. Yeah, like I just feel like these games that come out and are bloated for no reason. Like, I don't mind. Obviously, you and I don't mind games if it's a long game because it needs to be a long game. Then whatever. Like, we don't hate it. But if it's just artificially bloated for no fucking reason, then that's why.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I want more like 15, 20-hour experiences like we used to get. Every game wants to be the next life game now, and I just think
you can't do that.
That's a huge mistake.
Right. I just feel like there are just certain lanes. Like, if your game's a fucking 8-hour single player game, all right, that's a tidy piece of business to me. When I see that, I'm like, that is exciting. 15 hours, fantastic. 20, great. Now, when you get hit me with a 40-hour piece, you better be Square, Atlas, Falcom, or someone I trust, like that I know, or like even CD Projekt, where like you build good worlds. Like if you're gonna do that, I'm with you, but like you got to earn that. You can't be like, just fucking like that. Star Wars Outlaw was like the biggest offender of that for me, where I was like, this game is just like fucking bloated for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
so speaking of of Ubisoft, so I saw this link on Press Square, and significant Assassin's Creed Shadow spoiler leak on hentai website.
Oh my god.
uh, so they didn't like where I don't know what the website is because I don't want to link, and B Press Square didn't mention who the website is, but the official art book was uploaded to a hentai website randomly, so you could use your imagination, but apparently there were major spoilers there. But speaking of Ubisoft, like I feel like they might go away f this like soon, like as bless you good sir. But as far as everything I've been hearing about them, like the vibes have never like the vibes have been bad at Ubisoft for fucking years, I feel like now.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is like again, this is a studio like or a publisher that like has great or historically made good games, and then all of a sudden they just like
They're okay games.
they were like a they were like a solid mid tier, like I would
They
say.
got creatively bankrupt around the middle of the PS3 generation. No,
Yeah.
no, I take that back. They got creatively bankrupt around the beginning of the PS4 generation with
Well,
Assassin's Creed 4 and Far Cry 4. And then they just made the same games over and over again. People got
yeah, it
sick
was
of
just
it. And they
right.
decided they decided that they weren't going to change course, and they were gonna just keep going for it. And this is what happens. People stop buying your stuff. I don't. It's not a surprise. I don't know why everyone is acting like this is the craziest thing that's going on.
I feel like it's been
You
going on for
could have
years.
predicted this a long
Yeah.
time ago, dude. Like when companies keep making slop, eventually consumers will stop buying it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, Dragon Age of the Veilguard.
Yeah, it just seems.
You see, they laid all them motherfuckers off already. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see it.
I mean, I would get fired if I cost my company so much money, wouldn't you?
I mean, maybe. um, it's funny because remember, like all the fucking discourse around Dragon Age. No, it's great. You guys are all just fucking bigots and blah blah blah. Numbers don't lie, champ. Numbers don't lie. But again, like that's the shit though. Like we were talking about, like I don't see how you. I guess I do see how that happens because just we predicted that would happen based on literally the trailer. We're like, oh fuck, they fucked this up, and it's just, I don't know. It just sucks to see series that historically people loved just get fucking killed.
Yeah.
um, so you realize like Mass Effect, what like they're gonna ruin Mass Effect. Well, they already did, but like Mass Effect
Max
is next.
coming out.
No, I don't see that game happening. Just leave it
I
alone.
think
Don't do a Mass Effect. Just don't do it.
I think it's pretty clear Mass Effect isn't going to happen, especially now that they're like, oh, there's less than 100 people there.
Yeah, because like
Um,
here's the thing: Mass Effect can happen, but not from them. Like, if you give Matt, I would trust like a random studio of just Mass Effect fans at this point to fucking like to take care of that franchise versus like like anytime we say BioWare like that, close that studio, dude. It's not even BioWare anymore. Like it hasn't been BioWare for how long?
but it
Just close
has
that
its
studio.
history.
Just shut it the fuck down. Shut her down. Here's a little other misconduct I see. We're on the misconduct list. So the creator of the Bloodborne 60 frame per second chat patch says that Sony sent them a DCMA takedown. So I don't know if you're familiar with the discourse around this game that people have been begging for a 60 frames per second patch for I don't know how fucking long now.
Mm-hmm.
And so so since Sony wouldn't do it, the fans took it upon themselves. A fan took it upon himself to do it, and then he got hit with the cease and desist, basically, like stop this. And
Yeah.
I'm confused as to like, so does this mean that like Sony is working on it actively? Are we getting a Bloodborne remake for some reason, or
Yeah.
Sony just being dicks. Like I don't see otherwise. I don't see a reason for a company to do this.
Well, there was the rumor that they pretty much it was done a long time ago. They never released it. And then apparently, if you listen to the kind of funny interview with Shuhei, he said that he thinks that it's from software situation. It's on their end, but
I wonder what that would be like. Why
I don't
wouldn't
know.
they? Why wouldn't they want that?
I don't know. From Software is a little bit of a weird company. They make great games, but they are a little weirdos.
Did you know they made a Gundam game?
I think I do remember that.
Yeah, they made, and it's actually apparently really good, but it never came out in the States. It's Gundam Unicorn on PlayStation 3. So I may have to try that. You know what's crazy though? Speaking of the Gundam, because like I was listening to, or I guess I don't know, listening slash in the chat of Frame Skip when you guys were on the other day, and we were saying how there was no good Gundam games. Did you know? And I don't know. I guess maybe our RPG noses weren't as good as they are now at the time. But there was a Mobile Suit Gundam JRPG on PS2.
I did not know that.
It's called MS Saga, and it's like from Bandai, like so like not the Bandai Namco we know now, but like Bandai who did like I think it was this. I don't know if it was the same team that did Dot Hack, but it's literally a JRPG that has like I wouldn't people say it has like Dragon Quest level grinding. I don't really agree with that. I just think it has like PS2 RPG level grinding personally. But you get Gundams, you get mobile suits, and they're not like the full ones. They're like SD, but like they look. I like the way they look. And you can interchange the parts. You can like get certain weapons. So like right now in my party, I have a Zaku, and then I have the RX-78,
Hmm.
and so I've been playing that, but yeah, like I didn't know there was a JRPG that was fucking Gundam based. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how did I
I didn't
not get
either.
this? Yeah, it's called MS Saga: A New Dawn on PS2. I've been playing it on an emulator because I went to look it up on eBay, and naturally, it's like over $100
Yeah.
because of course it is. So yeah, quick aside there. So if you ever bored and and you figure out a PS2 emulator one night you're bored, check out MS Saga.
Okay.
Yeah, it's solid. Um, but yeah, it is back to the Bloodborne thing. I don't get why companies do that. Like, I just think it's weird. I always feel like it always comes down to like licensing and money and stupid shit like that. But Sony, just give people what the fuck they want from software. Give people what the fuck they want. Give people their 60 frames per second Bloodborne. It's just weird because that franchise people like. I feel like a Bloodborne sequel would sell a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like meh. It's on the shelf. It's on the
I don't know.
shelf. Last one. I don't understand what's going on with this. So I put it in here because maybe you would understand this or what's what why are NTX Nvidia RTX 590s being scalped? Like is that a new graphics card?
Yeah. I mean, they're not out yet, but they will be. There's been like a long history now lately of graphics cards being scalped, really ever since like COVID, because of people trying to build computers with their stimulus check, and then also because of people mining Bitcoin.
Oh
Um,
fuck. I didn't even think of that.
yeah, but there's not really a reason anymore that people should be. Um, right now, the reason why things are getting scalped is just because scalpers exist for it now. So they're buying up all the stock, and Nvidia never makes enough of these things. So that's all it is.
Yeah, so the link I put in here just it was saying that the RTX 590 and 580 came to market, and immediately after launch, RTX 590s were being purchased for over $6,000, and they hit a peak of $9,000,
Oh, I didn't even
which
know they came out yet.
which is kind of insane. Like,
Hmm.
like who's buying a $9,000 graphic? Like, who's doing that? Like,
People that are fucking rich, dude. I mean, there's a market for it. Like that. That's
fuck.
all. That's the only reason it happens.
Wow. I just feel maybe because like I'm a poor boy, I could never like even think about spending that amount of money on something like that. Like, but I don't know. I just can't imagine like, oh, I really want to put this on my PC. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
nine
crazy.
grand. All right, boom. Yeah, cool. Nothing. Cool.
It's
Fine.
disgusting. Yeah.
Like, because then I better feel like my fucking setup better be at least like a fucking 20K computer. Like if
Mhm.
at that
Well,
point, like I better have the top of the line fucking everything. If the fucking I'm just gonna drop 9 grand on a graphics card that's
yep.
apparently MSRP is like what the fuck was the MSRP? MSRP is
It's like 2 grand.
yeah, it's 2 grand. So like I feel like like that motherfucker better be like 10 years of future proof. Like because you put that over 10 years, that's a good investment. But like 9 grand, fuck.
It's not gonna be 10 years future proof though. That's the thing.
Ugh.
And
Yeah, yeah,
they also lied about like they didn't lie. They misconstrued the frame rate they were showing off
yeah,
because they were talking about, oh, you get this much improvement. It looked crazy, but it's with using AI frame generation, which is not true frame rate. And yeah, I don't know, man. The whole situation's messy. It's why I kind of just am out on PC gaming right now. I think a lot of people are going to be priced out on PC gaming.
yeah,
I hope these scalpers lose their ass
yeah. I
on
hope,
these
yeah,
cards. I
hundred
think they're
percent.
going to, considering I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that are willing to do it anymore, and I think a lot of people actually already upgraded their computers. And right now, if you look at historically within the generation, is a really bad time to upgrade your computer. So I think these scalpers might end up losing their ass, and I really hope they do.
Yeah, me too. Because not that I'm a big PC gamer, I play on my PC sometimes, but my PC I would consider outdated at this point. Um, I just my issue with PC gaming is like I don't like having to fiddle around in the fucking settings and like I just want it to fucking work. And sometimes like when like I'll download a game and it'll work one day and then I'll come back and load it up like, oh, it's choppy now. Why is this choppy? Like then I don't know, like VSync got fucking fucked. It's like, oh, it's always something. Like I feel like with PC gaming, like you always got
Hmm.
to tinker around it. Like that gets annoying. Like I just want shit to work. And
Right.
that's what I've always liked about console gaming, where I can go sit on my fucking recliner on my nice fucking mini LED display, with my nice setup, comfy, and boom. Where on PC, like it's cool. Sometimes it's like immersive when you're right in front of your computer and like, you get in the dark room and all that. But I prefer my couch.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah. So, all right, buddy. Well, it's been a good show. It's been a good
I
show.
agree.
Anything in closing you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to talk about before we wrap this bad boy up?
I don't know. I'm boring these days. I don't have anything to talk about anymore. You know, I don't have any updates. I'm not really playing anything right now.
You're just lying in wait for trails. That's it. You're just
I
lying
am.
in wait, biding your time,
That's all my life
and
has
then,
been these days. It's
and then
just
he's gonna strike.
laying in wait for trails. Yeah. I can't wait. Did you play the story demo?
I played a little bit of the story demo, and then I was in the middle. I got through the prologue, and then after I finished the prologue, I got logged out because Adam logged in on his console because we game share because he does for Genshin. But so I got logged out, and then when I logged back in, the game froze on me on like a weird. It was a weird glitch I
Wait, but
got.
Genshin's a free to play game.
Yeah, but what Adam does is he has 5 accounts. He's like a Genshin addict. He has the platinum for Genshin, I'm pretty sure. And he'll like log in and get dailies on each account. I don't know why he does it, but whatever.
So he uses
Uh,
your account to log into Genshin?
yeah, on top of his and his son's, and then 2 guest accounts, I think, or some shit like that. He's out of control. But he so when that happened, I logged back in, and then like I got a weird glitch. But then I was like, you know what? Like after the prologue, I'm good finishing the prologue. I'm fine with this. Like I kind of don't want to play anymore because I already got an impression of kind of what we are going to be dealing with here, and I started to see, not that anything bad happened, but I started to see why people kind of reacted to this game the way they have.
Hmm.
I'll put it this way: like I feel like people reacted to this game like they reacted to Trails in the third. Like I feel like it's the same reaction, and then so I was like, I see what we're gonna do here. Did you play any of it?
Nope.
Yeah. So whenever you play it, you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm assuming you're gonna do what you did last time. You're gonna start the demo and then kind of roll into
Yeah,
the
well, it's also like, I don't know. This is why I didn't want to do the whole race this year, because I
yeah,
was just kind of like, I don't know. I kind of just want to take my time with it,
yeah.
jump in when I'm feeling it instead of forcing myself to play,
Mm.
um, and just enjoy my time with it. I'll jump in when I feel like playing video games. I just haven't been feeling like playing video games. I've been having a lot of fun, building models and shit and just
Oh
chilling.
yeah.
So that's kind of my thing.
And that shit's important. Like I think you got to switch it up. Like
Yeah.
when I was sick and not playing any video games, and really just diving into Gundam, like I was having a blast. Like this is great. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have other hobbies and shit too. But yeah, we're definitely locked in the trails. But yeah, I'm not gonna play anymore after. Like I even deleted both demos. You know what? We're not gonna touch this until I'm holding Crimson Sin in my hand. And then so it's coming out Valentine's Day weekend.
Hmm.
And the person I'm talking to is like, "Oh, what are we doing for Valentine's Day?" And I'm like, I keep affirming, like, "Listen, you don't understand. Like, we are not doing anything."
And I am having a blast. You can come sit on my couch. Tell her that.
I did. She's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "That you're gonna be so bored, but this is gonna be funny." Um, but yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I have a 4-day weekend. This entire weekend's gonna consist of trails."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love
why
that.
not? Like, I have no reason not to. Like, yeah. So yeah, looking forward to that. But in closing, it's been a good show. Remember to check us out on YouTube. We are at Alpha Nerds Podcast. Check us out on Facebook. We're at Alpha Nerds. Usually you'll see me posting games that I finish. That's like my own personal catalog of video games I finish at this point. And as far as side banter, I've got a couple episodes in the pipeline that we got to get scheduled up, but keep your eyes out on that. And remember, when in doubt, square up, throw down. Have a good one, everybody.